I'm not going to come on here and say a bunch of I told you so's or anything like that, but I still want to give my score and critique, review, report, as you will, of WWE Battleground 2016. Now, I predicted most of the matches as far as the outcome of the matches, but I want to give a congratulations to WWE for its ending, but there was still some what the fuck parts as far as the show. So, without further ado, this is my critique, review, report, and final score of WWE Battleground. So the show starts off with the women's tag team match. Okay, fine. Nothing was necessarily on the line, and nothing was necessarily built up except that Sasha is chasing Charlotte. And we knew that was going to happen. Regardless of how it ended, which there was only one way it could have ended, for Sasha to still chase Charlotte. I mean, all right. Introducing Bayley, that's cool. I understand. That was great. But Bayley, they did it carefully as far as Bayley not stealing the whole spotlight away from Sasha. Remember, Sasha is still chasing Charlotte for the WWE Women's Championship. And the match went pretty solid. It went pretty well. I give all four of those ladies props. And it ended by Charlotte tapping to the bank statement. Fine. So where are they going to go from here? I hope either on Raw or maybe at SummerSlam, because they like to drag things out, that the big boss woman, Sasha, will finally get her one-on-one title shot against Charlotte. And maybe even take the title away from Charlotte, because Charlotte's reign has reached an ending point. There's nowhere else for Sasha to go. I mean, Charlotte to go. There's nowhere else for Charlotte to go as far as her title reign. If Charlotte beats Sasha, then Bayley would be next, but I don't see that happening. I think that Charlotte will cough up the belt to Sasha at some point. Okay, this match ended the only way it could. The Wyatts are broken up now. And this was a proper send-off, just like I said in my prediction show. And, okay, this doesn't hurt the New Day at all because they're still WWE Tag Team Champions. So this match was kind of, it was rocky. It has some great, it has some great freaking spots. It did. And a couple of them made 100% sense. Yes, it came down to Xavier Woods and it came down to Bray Wyatt. That made 100% sense because of how things built up. But it wasn't the greatest match as far as tag team or six-man tag, whatever, but it definitely wasn't the worst, and I congratulate all six men. Even though Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan, they weren't, as far as, top-notch workers in the match, but it was a proper send-off for them to get the victory, because at this point in time, there's nothing left for those two. Their careers are ruined as far as I'm concerned, because they will always be attached figuratively to Bray Wyatt, and he's going to be on a different show. I don't think that they're going to get any titles or any good storylines or any good pushes. But the New Day losing, it doesn't hurt them because they're still champs. Rusev versus Ryder actually surprised me because of the way the match went. You had a glimmer of hope with Zack Ryder, and I guess that they do like to do that with Zack Ryder. You actually thought that he had a chance of winning the United States Championship. I predicted that he wasn't going to win it because Rusev needs a longer reign with this thing. This is his second time being United States Champion, and he deserves a second run with it because his first run, yeah, he was dominant on his first run, but the way it came to an end was kind of, messed up. But Zack Ryder, they put on a pretty good match. It was pretty solid. It was. When he hit the Rough Rider on Rusev, I was like, whoa, 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 I could be wrong, I could be wrong. And then he went to the top rope, and I was like, yeah, I'm right. They're not going to give it to him because of that. They let it go. And even though Zach was trying to fight out of the accolade, it was just way too much for him. And Rusev is still United States champion. And all right, fine. Keep the belt on Rusev for a little while longer, and so on. Oh, and Mojo comes out and scares off Rusev, and Mojo is on SmackDown. Okay. So are they gonna? Is him and Zack Ryder gonna team up there as well? I don't know. We'll wait and see. But Rusev is still United States champion, and that was part of my prediction too. So there you go. This is the only match in the card that I actually got wrong. Becky versus Natalya was pretty solid, especially the way the match went. I didn't think that Becky was going to lose on account of she's been on a losing streak, and her career has gone downhill ever since she's made it to the main roster. I thought that Natalya, her being a veteran and all, her being there for years, and Natalya's not going to go anywhere as far as going up the ladder. So I thought this was a way to catapult Becky to, at least try to get a title shot for the women's championship sooner or later. But maybe this feud will continue, and maybe this feud would have the same type of thing that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens did. And I know I skipped Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, but I want to save that for a little bit later because I have something to say about that. But Becky and Natalya, they put on a pretty good show, and it ended the only way it could, with the leg being targeted and then the sharpshooter, and Becky reaches her ropes a couple of times, but proven to be too much for her. But Becky and Natalya, they will have a rematch, and Becky will be back. But Natalya pulling it off, I was wrong about that. Go figure. This was undoubtedly the worst match of the night for so many fucking reasons. The structure of the match was Darren Young didn't have a chance of winning the Intercontinental Championship. Fine, because it is Darren Young, and who else believed that Darren Young was going to win? I didn't believe that Darren Young was going to win, let alone the Intercontinental Championship. But to take it off a guy that doesn't even deserve the championship in the first place was the reason why that this match was even made, as far as I'm concerned. Bob Backlund being out there and Maurice being out there was just... And for that to be the deciding point of the match, and then the bell would ring and a no contest, not even a disqualification, a no contest, it's just, I don't know. Once again, Maurice does some work for The Miz. Once again, that's basically his character. And at this point in time, that's not going to go anywhere. Because, quite frankly, he can't do shit alone. He can't. To have Bob Backlund out there, and for the Miz to try to walk away, typical. But for Bob Backlund to stay in his way and stuff like that, and I didn't understand how a bell just suddenly rings when the chicken wing gets put on the Miz, and outside of the ring or whatever, the bell suddenly rings. Even a double count out would have been more sufficient. But the bell just ringing, that didn't make any fucking sense. But the Miz is still Intercontinental Championship, and that's what I predicted because I didn't see Darren Young winning it. It was the whole Zack Ryder, Rusev, Darren Young, Miz thing as far as trading belts for each shows or having two belts in the same show. I didn't think that the faces were going to win those matches, and there you go.
Haters say huh? Haters say what? Stomp them in the nuts. I'ma stomp them in the nuts. Stomp them in the nuts.
To me, there was no way the club was going to win this match. Because it wouldn't have made any sense. You have Enzo, Cass, and Cena. And the club being split, they didn't need a win in this match. Because that will totally throw a monkey wrench in the plans later as far as Cena versus Styles again, and Enzo and Cass versus Anderson and Gallows. And, okay, the club winning would have been okay, but I didn't see them winning. I just didn't. Now, with that loss and the separation between those guys on the two shows, you're going to see a tag team feud and you're going to see another singles feud ignite again. And that will be good as long as it's done properly, correctly, and with something on the line like going up the ladder or #1 contendership for tag team or WWE championships. Something like that. But the club, they work together. But Enzo, Cass, and Cena, especially Enzo, his fucking mic work at the beginning, yeah, that was top notch. And I hope that they keep that going. Cena didn't say a fucking word, and that was great. He didn't try to steal the spotlight from those two. Yes, he got the win of the match, but that was supposed to happen. Okay, it was, because it still sets up for Cena versus Styles a little bit later on, which will take place since they're both on SmackDown. But yeah, Cena, oh god, Enzo and Cass, fine, they win. Orton, Jericho, highlight reel, RKO. Who didn't see this coming? Please, I'm not going to go anymore. That's just it. Orton, Jericho, highlight reel, RKO. That's it. What can I say? What can anyone say? Match of the night. And I predicted that it would be. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, man. Oh god. And Sami Zayn winning. I predicted that as well because Kevin Owens took the last one on pay-per-view. And even though these two can go at it again because they're on the same fucking show, these two have great chemistry. And for them to go from around the world to NXT to here, the only thing that was missing, if it was for one of these, if it was for a world championship or even a mid-card championship, that's what the only thing that it was fucking missing. Please keep this going in the future for one of these. Please do that. Do not downgrade Kevin Owens. Do not downgrade Sami Zayn. Give Sami Zayn a shot at the United States title. Please. That makes sense, okay, at this time. But I don't think it's going to happen, though. I really don't think that's going to happen. But at the same time, this was the match of the night. The spots that they had for the match. The cool parts that they had in the match. The counters that they had during the match. They knew each other so well, and they wanted to tell that story. The craziest part of the night was the fucking suplex on the fucking apron. That was crazy. Yes, there was exploders. Yes, there was hell of a kicks. Yes, there was pop-up power bombs and a gasping moment with Sami Zayn getting his foot on the ropes just the last second. You know, you had frog splashes. You had their whole arsenals pulled off and or countered. Great fucking match all the way around. I hope these two will move on and have the same type of chemistry with whoever they fucking work with. Because them doing that, they have bright futures, especially world championship reigns down the line. Kevin Owens, bravo. Sami Zayn, outstanding. Match of the night, hands down. I was hoping to be right about this one. Because you had Dean Ambrose, okay, all three former members of the Shield, Ambrose, Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Look, Ambrose keeping the title was the only thing that made sense. Because, again, SmackDown, they're hyping up SmackDown Live. They're trying to have us take SmackDown seriously. So they needed the boost. They needed the WWE Championship. They needed that to start that era. Seth Rollins winning and then Raw coming out and congratulating him and having Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon looking down. That wouldn't have made any sense at all because the motherfucker's like, hey, what does SmackDown have? What is SmackDown going to do? SmackDown is the weaker show. You have all these titles on Raw and only one on SmackDown now. No, that wouldn't have worked. So at least the WWE Championship is going to be on SmackDown so they can move on to things on SmackDown. Yes, they also have the Intercontinental Championship. However, I see that the WWE Championship being on SmackDown is the way to go at this point, especially with Dean Ambrose because his reign is short right now. He needs a longer reign in order for him to be established and to be taken seriously as a main event player and not give that shit back to Cena. Now, where are they going to go? Are they going to have the Cena and AJ Styles feud end and have him give AJ Styles a title shot so AJ Styles can finally get it? Or will Bray Wyatt challenge him? There are many ways that they can go at this point. But Dean Ambrose still being champion. Look, all three of those guys have their spots. Look, okay. Ambrose and Rollins forming together and taking out Reigns, that was cool. And that really got over with the fans. Seth Rollins did his usual shtick as far as his athleticism. Nice. All three of them had their spots as far as their stages for their moves. Absolutely good. And yes, you can see certain things coming, but the way that the match went and the way that it ended, it was the only way it could. Roman Reigns spearing Seth Rollins and then going for the cover, and then Dean Ambrose just coming in dirty deeds on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns getting pinned for the second time in a month for this championship. Bravo. It doesn't hurt Seth Rollins one bit because he wasn't a part of the transaction as far as being pinned. He can complain on that. He can harp on that. He can blame Roman Reigns, which he probably will. Ambrose celebrates and a new era this Tuesday. I'm looking forward to that. I will watch it and I will stand right here and make my review/report. But as far as final score is concerned, yes, this is a roller coaster ride, but that's typical of WWE. That's typical of WWE delivering such a thing. But as far as this match went, as far as this event, there were things that I knew that was okay. I followed common sense as far as who was going to win and lose. Yes, I was wrong on one fucking match, but that doesn't really hurt the score because the match was pretty good. The only thing that hurts the score is the Intercontinental Championship match because of the way that shit ended, the way that shit went. It didn't even end on a pin, okay? Even if the Miz, if the Miz would have, and Maurice would have played no part, Bob Backlund would have played no part. If the Miz would have thwarted Darren Young's attempt at getting his title, even by pinning him alone or losing the ropes or holding the tights, that's absolutely fine. But again, none of that took place. This was the match that ended just for the sake of ending it. And that affects the fucking score here because that took a lot out of the mood. It did. It just didn't, for me, that didn't make any fucking sense. The highlight reel was predictable. Fucking Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens was the best part of the night. Rusev Ryder, it kept motherfuckers at the edge of their seat because they actually thought Ryder had a chance to take the title. New Day versus Wyatt, it had their spots, but there was no meaning to it. The women's tag team match didn't mean anything either. The WWE Championship match, that had the highest point of the night as far as the way it ended. So my final score is a 7.5 out of 10. It wasn't the best, but it certainly wasn't, I don't know, an episode of SmackDown from, maybe a couple of months back or whatever. It's not TNA. It wasn't as worse as that. Okay, it's not Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor puts on top quality matches almost every time they broadcast. But this 7.5 out of 10 actually showed me something as far as the direction that they're going to go with SmackDown. Now, we have to wait for Raw to see what they're going to do. Because, yes, they have titles on their show, but they don't have anything. They don't have any world championships for the main male roster. They have the women's championship. They have the tag team championship. They have the United States championship. What are they going to do as far as a world championship? Are they just going to have it on SmackDown and have them try to trade the title every fucking 4 months, or they're going to have a new world championship or new WWE championship. Who knows? So that's my review / report / final score of WWE Battleground. Tell me what you think. Did I get everything right? Did I get everything wrong? Did you like the show? Did you hate it? Were you like, fuck that? Or were you like, yeah? I would like to hear it. I would like to read your opinions. And hey, I'm always open for a debate, especially about wrestling. So, drop kicks, body slams, throw motherfuckers over the top rope, both feet hitting the floor. Yes, I'm a wrestling fan. This is the theme, and I'll see you later. Credits.